Hiya everyone! Welcome on in to the stream. We're back with the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles again. Episode 4 of the second game. And today we're celebrating my birthday because my birthday's tomorrow on a Friday and I don't stream on Fridays, and also it's my birthday. I'm gonna go out and do stuff. So we're celebrating today. Yay! Hi everyone! Oh, I'm very excited to celebrate my birthday doing terrible British accents. I hope everyone's doing good. 2nd November, 12:33 p.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Also, if this game makes me cry on my birthday, I'm gonna be mad. Oh, there you are, Otto. What kept you, my dear fellow? Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Gina? Sure about what you said in there? That the boss, actually died the day before. It's pretty hard to swallow.
Yes, I was shocked by the revelation too, Gina.
As was I, possibly more shocked than both of you. Not as shocked as me. It's not a competition, Mr. Sholmes. But I was more shocked than all of you put together. This is the autopsy report in question, is it? Yes, it's strange that there's no time of death noted. I suppose there's a simple explanation. Or perhaps it was a deliberate omission?
Oh dear. If it was deliberate, it puts me in mind of the last case we worked on. And Dr. Scythe.
I know. Anyway, it seems that on the day before Lord Von Zeeks discovered his body, Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League. So perhaps something happened with them? Come to think of it. You had trouble with those League men too, didn't you, Mr. Sholmes? You were taken in by their trick. No. Naturally, I wasn't taken in, as you put it. My sleuth-hound interest was merely piqued slightly by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. And that scent masked the underlying scent of deception, I suppose?
The two criminals in question are the pair we saw being arrested yesterday, aren't they? In Mr. Sholmes' suite, I mean.
That's right, sis. I know it was me what took 'em in. Thanks to a tip-off by a good law-abiding citizen. Indeed. Yours truly. So it's gonna be that pair in the witness stand next, is it? Something doesn't quite make sense to me, though. The day before Inspector Gregson was found, you hadn't had trouble with the Red-Headed League yet, had you? Why would the inspector have been investigating them? Well, the likely explanation would be that Gregson's own sleuth-hound interest was piqued by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. Ah, of course. That rare scent. Don't tar him with the same brush as you, Sholmes. Yes, well, then there's the whole issue of Inspector Gregson being investigated by Lord Van Zeeks for some reason.
The Reaper, the Red-Headed League, Inspector Gregson, Lord Von Zeeks.
And Kazuma. Don't forget Kazuma. Never forget Kazuma. I feel as though he knew we'd arrive at this point somehow.
Gosh, I think you're right.
What's he really trying to achieve here today? All the answers will soon be revealed. Observe the time, dear fellow. Oh! What the heck? Scenario, thank you for the 10 subs! What the heck? Oh, then thank you for the birthday wishes. That's so sweet of you. Oh my god, I just got jump scared. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. Thank you guys. Thank you, Scenario. That's so sweet of you. Oh my gosh. Oh, all the answers will soon be revealed. Observe the time, my dear fellow. Oh, I don't even know what to say. Oh, it's so sweet. This recess will be over very shortly. Yes, you're right. Kazuma was determined that he should be the one to prosecute this trial. And he was determined that I should take the defense. Just what is it that he's hoping to make me see, I wonder? I get the feeling we're a long way from the end of this trial yet. Well, we really surpassed that sub-goal. Are you ready then, Mrs. Otto? Thought it would be a funny way to jump in here. It's certainly a way to jump in here. Thank you again. I truly appreciate it so much. I'm beaming right now. Are you ready then, Mrs. Otto?
Yes.
2nd November, 1 p.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. I love Van Zieg's stance so much. I like how he stands. He stands like I do. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the closed court hearing of Baron Van Zieg's, here present, who stands accused of murder. Now then, Prosecutor Asogi. My lord. Have you summoned the witnesses as requested? Yes. The 2 members of the Red-Headed League who planned and carried out the deception. Do you also stomp on desks? You know it. Big ol' leg slam. And I throw my hallowed chalices around. Whenever I'm perturbed. They arrived not long ago from the local prison by police carriage. Very good. Bailiff, usher the 2 men into the courtroom. Spaghetti. These 2 men are currently being held at by the police on suspicion of attempted extortion. You may omit your occupations, but state your names now for the court. I am Fabian de Rousseau, a descendant of the Great de Rousseau family from Nice in France. And my name is Peppino de Rossi. I am the 3rd son of the great Familia de Rossi, the landowners from Napoli. The 2 men first became acquainted at a boarding school for European nobility. Those who graduate from Themis are the future leaders of Europe. But do you have any idea how boring it is to be born with noble blood? Alors, I make it my mission to get the better of the world by employing the little grey cells of my brain. That is all I'm trying to do, huh? So, that's the only reason for this whole grand deception you've been carrying out? Oui. You could say that. Not bad, eh? He has the grand ideas, but the petty plans. This strange combination is the charm of the hilarious brothers. Si, capo? Listen to me, Peppino. I have 2 things to say to you. Sure? Are you about to tell me one of your grand anecdotes? Evviva! Choo-choo, the hype train. Firstly, I want you to stop calling me this capo. And secondly, we are not the hilarious brothers. This is serious business. Shit, hello, there it is. The capo's trump card, the furrowed brow.
It is deep, Capo, the furrow in the meaning of your words.
The court has been led to believe that under the banner of the Red-Headed League, you have conspired to swindle money from unsuspecting members of the public. Is this true?
Oui, c'est ça.
And what exactly was the nature of this deception by which you planned to defraud?
Alors, I will explain it. No, Capo. Leave it to me. As you see, we both have the vivid red hair, no? At school, we were teased for this without pity. The couple here, he was many times behind the schoolhouse, crying like the Trevi fountain. Where's these dogs? One day the world will respect us redheads. Every night he would bury his head in his pillow and weep for... C'est bien, Peppino, enough. I will explain the rest. The first step was the newspaper advertisement. About 1 week before the plan was pulled into operation, we listed the same notice in every paper in London.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, we saw that notice. It was this one, I believe, entitled To the Red-Headed League.
Oui, c'est ça. I am honored that you have seen it.
It states that the only condition for joining the league is having flame-colored hair, and that if you satisfy the interview panel and are admitted into the league, you could receive a weekly income of £4. On the dates specified, red-headed hopefuls gathered in droves at a park specified in the advertisement. And from each person present, this pair took an application fee of 5 shillings.
And with the money to France, it was the most elegant, no?
No, it was the most dishonorable. But to be frank, I'm stunned anybody was foolish enough to be taken in by such an obvious trick.
The park was described by one witness as choked with red-headed folk like a coaster's orange barrow.
And the day on which all these men gathered to apply was the day before the victim was discovered. Crucially, these 2 men spoke face-to-face with every single person present that day.
And I bet they remember every single face to a T. Oui, I have seen more red-headed people in one day than I would see in the rest of my life. Si. And now every time I see the couple's hair, I feel sick to my stomach.
Anyway, why have we been summoned here today? Sorry? The date for our trial was not until tomorrow, I was told. Naturally, neither of these men have been told any details about this trial. Oh, because it's a closed court, yeah. They've only been shown this photograph. Very good. So, Mr. De Rosso and Mr. De Rossi, you will now give your formal testimony for the court on the subject of the gentleman pictured in this photograph. Of course, we are always ready to help with the law. Okay. Witness testimony. The man in the photograph. We had more than 1,000 red-headed people assemble in the park on Lime Street that day. Yes, but I'm sure you definitely won't remember that guy.
But I don't recall the man in this photograph, I Capo?
No, I don't remember him. Obviously, he is dead now, but I assure you, he was not in the park. But you...
Allora, the victim has nothing to do with us.
You have a lot to answer for, Peppino. It is your fault that we got caught in the first place. Tisk. You've given sworn testimony that this man in the photograph was not present. Can you be certain? I doubt they really could, to be fair.
Oui. I am quite certain. We did not interview this man. Nobody looking like this came to the park. This I can promise.
It must be noted that you have been arrested for grand deception. However, accordingly, this court has little confidence in your assurances.
Uffa, what's this attitude? We get nowhere, huh?
He's really a sulkin now. This confidential document was obtained directly from Scotland Yard. It records an entry from the inspector's private diary dated the day before the incident. It reads, Lime Street, Red-Headed League, undercover.
Oh, I have the answer. Maybe there was another similar event in the park on the day in question,
Or he never made it because he was dead. That is ridiculous. There's no question that Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League. Which means it's quite possible that's when he was killed. Very well. The defense may proceed with the cross-examination now. Yes, my lord. We had more than 1,000 Reddit people, some months apart.
Hold it!
1,000 people? That's a very big crowd.
It was quite a spectacle. Redheads had come from all over the capital. See, the capital here has a magnetismo anomaly, eh? No one else could attract so many people. If I could be born again, I would be the capital.
All those people wanted was the money, Peppino. The £4 per week. Are you suggesting that you spoke personally with all 1,000 applicants in a day is nuts?
Oui. That we did. Because every one of them paid us 5 shillings.
Oh! Okay, yes.
We take their names and we take their money and we take their addresses as well. Then I tell them we take some days to let them know by a post it finito. Maybe 2 minutes a person. We start early in the morning and we stop late in the night.
So, you earned 5,000 shillings in one day? That's a small fortune. Who'd have thought there were 1,000 such gullible redheads in London to start with? Well, clearly they were all dyeing their hair or wearing hair pieces. One of whom was a great detective with chemically altered hair. But I don't recall this man in a photograph. No, I don't remember him, and obviously he's dead now, but I assure you he was not in the park. How can you be certain? But according to what you've said, you spoke with 1,000 or more people that day. That's what I'm saying.
Oui, is that true? My eyes were burning by the end of the day.
Surely then you can't actually remember every single face. How are you so certain that this particular man wasn't present?
Normally the red hair is very distinctive, eh? But not when you have 1,000 redheads crowding around, then it's just an eyesore. But if there was some other information you could give us, maybe then we could recall.
That is not the line, Peppino. The line is he wasn't there. Remember, we do not remember him. We are sure of that fact, eh?
If there was a man with red hair, please, but his mustache did not match the color, then I do not think I could have forgotten him.
Kazuma said these two had only been shown that photograph and they'd been told nothing else at all. But what if I fed them just one other detail about the victim? For example, his name, his profession, his fish and chips. Sure, let's go with his profession. Because they said they took the... I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember in this situation. What if I told you that the man in the red hairpiece was actually a detective?
The man is a photograph, a detective?
Yes. It would appear he found your notice in the paper suspicious and decided to investigate incognito.
Sorry,
but this changes nothing. Oh, I think your partner has to disagree.
Excuse me.
Something to add, Mr. De Rossi?
See, I am always adding something. Parmesan, olive oil, pepper.
What I mean is, did you not agree with your friend's last remark by any chance?
What did he have just to say about the detective?
Yes, that. Keep your mouth shut, Peppino. You've said enough already.
But why, Capo? What is the problem? There was a man who said that I am an inspector from Scotland Yard.
What? Good lord. I love when the characters have to stand on the crates or boxes. It's so silly. Order, order, order. Explain this volte-face in your testimony, witness.
It's simple. The man who was at the park said to us that he was inspector.
There was no such man.
Madai, what are you saying, Capo? Have you forgotten, eh?
I have forgotten nothing. Nobody like this came to the park.
Basta, Capo, basta. You beat me at many things, but not two. The memory and the meals. Like I said, when it's time to eat the pasta, no one is faster.
But you are inferior. Damn! That's cold. But you are inferior to me in every other way, so shut up.
Objection!
Stop telling him to shut up. Oh. Yeah. We were like in sync.
Proptor.
The damage is done. Indeed it is, sir. Oui, there was a man who came to the park, and he said he was inspector from Scotland Yard. However, he looked nothing like the man in the photograph. He was someone else. Oh, okay. How can you be so sure? Because, to start with, his face was completely different. Fair enough.
See, it's true, it's true. The man who came was a younger. His face was clean-shaven, his eyes were sadder, his chin was thinner.
No resemblance whatsoever, then. Anyway, I was not going to be fooled. I took the obvious precaution and said to him, "If you are really a detective, show us the proof."
See, the Capo really doesn't take no nonsense, eh?
But he was well prepared. He said he had identification. Let's see it. Identification? Oh. You mean official police inspector's identification. That is most unconvincing. Sorry, my lord? Counsel, no incognito inspector would offer his identification for inspection. It's quite out of the question. Unless he, stole it or something. Definitely. Why would he expose his true identity? Clearly, the papers were fake.
Certo, Capo, you are a genius. As we say in Italia, it takes a thief to recognize another, eh?
And what happened after he announced that he was a detective?
He became very annoying. He said, "You are under investigation."
So I took his papers from him and chased them out of the park. You have the papers then.
Can I see? Can I see? It was fantastico. And look, here is the identification.
So you stole it from the man?
He had it coming. He made us very scared. But he was not who he said he was.
Indeed. The person described does not appear to have behaved as a true inspector would. However, I believe it would be prudent for these identification papers to be entered into evidence.
But I like them.
The identification of a man claiming to be a detective inspector. Okay. No. Let us return to the witness's testimony. Sure. What do we got? Well, I suppose we should see what this inspector's identification looks like inside. Let's go. It's... Oh. I don't know why I assumed there was gonna be a picture. Yes, it definitely looks fake, doesn't it?
Out of interest, what name is given?
Probably just something plucked out of the air. It's... Tobias Gregson. So somebody was pretending to be Tobias? Gregson? So somebody was pretending to be Gregson, which means they were trying... I'm going to guess they were doing it maybe to cover up the fact that he was dead? they're posing as him so that he'd have an alibi, so people wouldn't know he was dead the day before. That's my guess. Wait, what?
This Scotland Yard insignia looks genuine to me.
Yeah. How?
And the department and identification number details are all correct as well.
Since when have you known those? Do you mean to say?
I know it seems incredible, but yes. I think this is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard.
But that's unbelievable. This is the real thing after all? Yeah. Inspector Gregson's police identification is the official warrant card issued to him by Scotland Yard. Interesting. Alright.
Allora, the victim has nothing to do with us, except you have his identification.
Objection!
I wonder if I could ask you to examine this identification book very closely. Miss Lestrade? Why Miss Lestrade? She worked with him. What is your intention here, counsel? Is this really a fake or is it genuine? That's the question, which we can't answer ourselves.
Objection!
Objection. Don't be ridiculous. No Scotland Yard detective would allow his or her identification to be stolen. That's the boss. There's no question about it. It can't be. As I suspected. The undercover detective who attended the Red-Headed League's enrollment on the day in question was the real Inspector Gregson, carrying out an incognito investigation. So wait, was it actually him, or... So hello? Were they lying about him looking different, or... Oh, order!
But if the boss had his identification stolen, he will have reported it straight away.
I mean, he was always on me about it. If you do something, you report it at once, he'd say. Unless he was dead. Could it be then that the inspector was physically unable to report it?
Because he was dead.
He done got murdered.
Physically, eh? What are you saying?
Unable to... You're not suggesting... Yes. It's quite possible that he was killed before he had the chance to report his identification stolen. No. Order! The defense posits that the victim was killed the day before his body was discovered, at a different location. Do you two have anything to say about that?
I know nothing. I done nothing.
Pull yourself together, Peppino. Mon Dieu, you can behave a little more like a master criminal than that, no?
Now I wish I had returned to Italia.
Stop crying, Peppino, please. Otherwise, oh my god. Moment, stop your whining and start talking. Well, I believe the court will need to hear your story in considerably greater detail.
I know nothing. I done nothing.
But you will tell everything, or face the worst possible outcome. You will dry your eyes and testify again. Stop being babies. About these identification papers and the precise circumstances under which you came by them. For crying out loud.
The detective and the identification.
The truth is, we took him prisoner and kept him for the night at our secret hideout. What? Even though I didn't think he was a real detective, I was too scared to let him go that day, just in case. You did what? We took the man's identification from him and shut him in the room next to ours. There might have been a little tussle, but we did him no harm. As the next morning, we let him go. He spent the night in a nice room. It was nothing like a prison, really. Okay. This is outrageous. You imprisoned the man?
But no, see, no. It was not like a prison. He was very comfortable and calm and happy.
Of course, yeah, me too, when I get locked in rooms against my will.
A capo?
It was never part of my plan, I swear it.
Oof, so you think it was my fault, eh? Just because I got a date with the fairy wrong? By one little a day?
I do not think it was your fault, Peppino, I know it.
No. Per favore, capo. It is not fair.
You shall have plenty of time for squabbling back at the prison, gentlemen. Oh, I don't believe this. How could he have been a real detective? Counsel for the defense, proceed with the cross-examination. So on the day before the incident, Gregson spent the night confined in this pair's hideout? We took him prisoner and kept him for the night at our secret hideout.
Hold it!
Do you realize what you're saying? You have to believe me, I never intended for that to happen. He just accidentally wound up our kidnapped victim. And I'm sure the detective did not intend it either. Do you think? But there was nothing else I could do.
See, nothing else. It was the first crime for the capo. He was at the end of his wits.
I have told you before, Peppino, that is not the way to describe a criminal mastermind. What about this hideout of yours? I know them the house behind the park on Lime Street.
You were in the place for 2 days. It was inspired by the capo, yeah?
An impulsive idea, I would say.
No, not impulsive. Inspired, eh, capo?
What else am I supposed to say to that, Peppino? It was in the house described that you confined Inspector Gregson, was it?
Oui.
But you have to remember, I was under the impression that he was a pretender, not a real inspector. That doesn't quite add up, though. If you didn't think the man was a real inspector, there would have been no reason to take him prisoner, would there?
No, you are right. But we couldn't be completely certain.
And then think he was a real detective, was too scared to let him go that day just in case. We took the man's identification from him and shut him in the room next to ours. There might have been a little tussle, but we did him no harm.
Hold it!
What do you mean by a little tussle exactly? Oof, it was nothing, just a minor incident.
The false inspector, he was a real piece of the work. I capo?
What happened?
Oof, it was a disaster. We gave him a nice room, and what does he do? In the middle of the night, he tries to escape through the ventilator.
Can you blame him?
We chased him, bien sûr, and we caught him again. Can you blame us?
Yes. Wait, you didn't shoot the man in your haste, did you? Who do you think we are? Of course not. I simply got hold of him again and took him back to the room. I don't think you did. I think something else happened.
Excuse me.
Mr. De Rossi, is something wrong?
Oh, me?
Something Mr. De Rosa had said seemed to make you, well, it seemed to make you act even more strangely than usual. What was all that about?
Cavallo, at times like that you don't want to have the capo after you, believe me. And I speak from personal experiencia.
Personal experience? That is enough, Peppino. There is no need to say more.
The truth is that the night before we put the red-headed league plan into action, I was scared. It was not fair to the couple, but I tried to run away.
It's a shame you didn't manage it.
But the couple here, he came after me like a turbine, and he dragged me back to the house, kicking and screaming. I still have the bruises to prove it. Hey, couple?
Bruises, you say?
You wanna see, huh? You wanna see my fantastical bruises?
That's enough now, Papino. No one wants to look at any part of you. So cruel. That was mean.
What to do, huh? I show you, I don't. I show you, or I don't.
You do, now.
Allora, if everybody wants to see it, then I do it.
Oh!
Echo, you see? It's still a very visible, eh?
Oh, that one guy. I remembered, what's his name? Gossip. He has the bruises around his neck. They made a point of mentioning that. So was he the one? Why? Wait, why was he the one that was pretending to be Gregson? That red ring around your neck. You got that when you were dragged back to the house?
See, the couple sometimes he is very rough.
I said that's enough.
Pepino's neck is nothing to do with what we are talking about here. You have my word.
Yes. What is your opinion, Counsel? About this red ring around Mr. DeRossi's neck? Wonder, does it matter? Yes. Mr. DeRossi, I'm going to have to ask you to amend your testimony with details about that mark on your neck.
Hey, couple. You see? Everyone is interested in what I say, eh?
Very well. You will amend your testimony as requested, Mr. DeRossi.
See, if you really wanted to know. He tried to escape, but the couple put the collar on him and dragged him back, like you did that to me, see?
So, I'm wondering, if this is how we prove it wasn't Gregson? Because Gregson doesn't have the bruising? But we know someone who does.
Objection!
Yes, nailed it. So the day before his body was discovered, Inspector Gregson was taken prisoner while working incognito.
No, it was not like that. It was hardly a prison. It was an invitation to stay. It was only.
However you describe it, there's one glaring inconsistency that remains. What inconsistency is this, Counsel? I would ask the court to look closely at this photograph of the victim, Inspector Gregson. You will see that there is no red ring visible around his neck.
But that makes no sense. It was me who took the collar of the man in the morning. And I saw the red bruises on his neck, just like I have.
Given that the mark is still clearly visible on this witness's neck, we'd expect to see bruising on the victim who was put in the collar more recently than Mr. DeRossi. Indeed. That is most peculiar.
But what we tell you, huh? We said this from the beginning many times. Peppino is right. The man in the photograph is someone different to the man we held captives that night.
Order, order, order. It would appear then that on the day before the incident, the man who visited the park on Lime Street posing as an incognito inspector was not Inspector Gregson at all.
Objection!
If that's true, however, how do you explain the inspector's identification? This is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. It's inconceivable that someone could have stolen such an important item from the inspector. The prosecution made that assertion itself.
And we also know that the inspector had made a note about the Red-Headed League in his diary for that day. Which surely means we can't divorce the two events completely.
The inconsistency noted by the defense is most troubling. If it were the real Inspector Gregson whom these two red-headed gentlemen encountered, the fact that no bruising can be seen around his neck defies explanation. But equally, if they actually encountered an imposter, how did that person come to be in possession of the real Inspector's identification? Well, let's call him in and ask him. I have a feeling I know who it is. Does the defense have some plausible explanation, counsel? The whole thing defies explanation.
It is for precisely these occasions that we keep meticulous notes in the court record, Mr. Naruhodo. Because those are the facts, and the facts cannot lie.
No, the facts can't lie. Even when they point to something so incredible, it's almost unbelievable. Well, my lord, the true identity of the person who turned up in the park for the Red-Headed League's enrollment is revealed by information in the court record, I believe. Good gracious. Very tantalizing, Mr. Naruhodo. So why don't you help us all to see whatever truth it is that you've apparently seen? Who exactly was this inspector that appeared before Mr. De Rosso and Mr. De Rossi?
An impostor. An impostor, eh?
Though it seems incredible, I admit, the undeniable facts point to only one thing. Since no bruising can be seen on the victim's neck, the person who these two red-headed men took prisoner that day cannot have been Inspector Gregson. In other words, your whole argument up to now has been a waste of time.
Objection!
On the contrary, I haven't finished. What? There's no bruising on the victim's neck, so the question immediately posed next is, who exactly was the man in the park on Lime Street found to be carrying Inspector Gregson's identification?
See, that's alright. We tell the same story every time. Whoever this man was, the capo dragged him from a pillar through a post with a dog collar.
Mon Dio, Peppino! It was not so harsh as you say, eh?
So who was that the falso inspector, eh? Who was he?
Clearly the defense has an idea about that. And the true identity of the man who these two imprisoned that night. I must ask the counsel for the defense to elaborate post-haste. Who did the witnesses encounter in the park posing as Inspector Gregson?
The man with the red ring around his neck, perchance?
The fraudster behind the Red-Headed League swindle who was caught by Mr. Sholmes. He derives from the French aristocracy, it seems. A lackey of De Rosa and conspirator of the Red-Headed League's swindle, the third son of a great Italian landowner.
I think it's you.
Take that!
Oh, goodness me, isn't that... one of the witnesses who was in the stand in this very courtroom earlier today. A nameless man whose only occupation appears to be peddling hearsay to passers-by.
Objection!
What on earth would a street seller be doing with the police inspector's identification papers? Witnesses, is this the man or not? What has happened to his lip? Oh.
See, this man is not for the Red-Headed League, eh? He was looking for the Twisted Lip League, no?
Perhaps rather than making such a rash claim next time, you should bite your lip instead. I'll bite your lip. It seems improbable, yes, but one undeniable fact remains. During his testimony earlier, I noted something around the man's neck. A red ring of bruising.
I did. I remembered that.
Yeah. What? Because I remember it thinking weird that they pointed that out. I'm like, they're gonna have to come back to this at some point. And then they didn't. But now they have. The defense demands that Mr. Gossip be brought back to the stand. Order, order! Bailiff, bring the aforementioned witness back into the courtroom. Immediately. Well, I never. An undeniable ring of bruising indeed. And identical to that of the witness beside him. Know what's going on here, eh? Oh, I've always had this, me. It's a birthmark, innit? A birthmark, you say? I assume the reason you've been recalled to the stand has been explained to you. Something about Inspector again. But I'm telling you, got it all wrong as usual. You're denying all knowledge of it? Well, of course I am. Well, you're trying to kill me with all this nonsense, eh? Well, at least you'll have more stories to peddle back on Fresno Street, won't you? Now, we're gonna need you to testify again. And you, Mr. De Rosso and Mr. De Rossi. I'm sure you'll cooperate, won't you? Do we have any choice?
We are in big trouble, like couple.
That's quite enough dilatory chatter. Proceed with the testimony.
Witness testimony. The man who claimed to be an inspector that was definitely not this man. That's right, see? You think we'd would forget these grand lips, huh?
Oh, I never leave Fresno Street, alright? No interest in any red-headed leak. I'm all alone in the world, me. Got no kinfolk or nothing. Why would I be involved in something like that? Just look at me, eh? Does it look like I could carry off the skies with a face like this? I think you could. It would certainly appear that we have the wrong man.
What I have been telling you, huh? There was no need for this pointless testimony.
That's right. Just a simple peddler, remember? Fresno Street's all I know. Why would I have come by a police inspector's identification book, eh? Well, yes, that's hard to explain, but... A brief cross-examination, I think, counsel. Very brief. Isn't there anyone in this courtroom who thinks I might be onto something? I think you're onto something. And so does Susato. Look at that.
I stand steadfastly at your side, as always, Mr. Naruhodo.
Maybe Kazuma does too, you know? In his own little way. It was definitely not this one. So you say, but how can you be quite so certain?
There is no need to urge your answer on the test, monsieur. Surely the reason is obvious, no? Because I have no reason. I have never seen before. Because I have never before seen lips like this.
Nevertheless, there's a clear red mark around Mr. Gossip's neck. And it looks very much like that left behind on the neck of your colleague by your prized collar.
Mon Dieu, with your words, it is like you tried to wring my neck. It does very much like on my neck, though, eh?
No, this is a birthmark, lad. The biggest lips in London and a neck to die for. Oh, they broke the mold when they made me.
For the first time in my life.
I feel lucky to have been born with red hair. I thought being Japanese made you stand out in London. So you maintain that you've never seen this man before?
Oui, c'est ça. I swear to it by the flames of my hair.
So fierce pride has outgrown the frustration with your hair now, has it?
It's right, so you to go without forget these grand lips, huh?
I never leave Fresno Street, what? No interest in any red-headed leaf?
Hold it!
You would for money. So you'd heard of the Red-Headed League, had you? You don't get a name like Gossip for nothing, eh? More business to know what's going off in town. I sold that tasty titbit to a fair few redheads that came past me. Just between us, I even got sandwiched to cop up for it.
Well, he does have a very red nose, if that counts.
Who knows? Well, as you can see, my own hair's not got a hit of red in it. And in any case, Fresno Street's my patch. Not catch me soiling it off to some other part of town.
Is that so?
No, sir, not likely. Is that so? Says the man.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. I love the excuse me little interjection so much. It's so polite. Just, excuse me. Mr. De Rousseau. Oui. Can I help you? Did Mr. Gossip's word just now lead you to remember something relevant, perhaps? It was the other day when I was looking for a place near the park. A small house or something. To be the headquarters of your red-headed league, yes. I visited an housing on Lime Street and there I saw him. This man was paying money to the agent. What? Mr. Gossip with a housing agent? Oui. He had some kind of contract in his hand, and they were clearly discussing terms. Oh, no. You're mistaken, chum. Oh, I've never left Fresno Street, me. Like I said before. I'm mistaken you for someone else. Someone with the same face.
No, the capo is right. I remember it too. He was paying the man with the banknotes.
With notes? Like I said, that wasn't me.
I was curious why this man with the dirty clothes had so much money. So I looked at the name on the papers.
And what name was written? Mr. Gossip?
No. This man, he lies. He tells you that he has a no name. But in fact, his name is...
He's the guy who rented the room. Oh, interesting.
His name is Hugh Boone, huh? He's better than Mr. Gossip, I think, see?
Oh. One peddler of tidbits of information, like I said, on Fresno Street, and that's that. I don't much like folks talk about my personal life. Indeed. And it is not the intention of the court to invade the privacy of witnesses.
It does when it's relevant to the case.
Very well. I shall respect your wishes, sir. The aforementioned name shall be redacted from all court records of this trial. Assuming no objections. I have an objection.
Objection!
Very good, Renosuke. I'm sorry, my lord, but the defense does object. Because the name just mentioned has a very deep significance to this case. Oh, good gracious. Do you similarly object, Prosecutor Osogi? As it happens, my lord, the particular name has already been mentioned during today's proceedings. But I never, in what capacity?
Hugh Boone. The name of the leaseholder of the room.
Let me put this very simply. The victim's body was discovered in your rented room. I suggest, sir, that you start talking. Well, what? Well, I suppose that might be the case, eh? So your real name is Hugh Boone. Well, just between us, I don't like to blow my own trumpet. There's no finding the peddler of tidbits in town. So I happen to be able to afford a grubby that room in a falling down backstreet townhouse. You do? Once every 6 months I go and pay the agent on Lime Street. Well, I remember now. There were 2 vulgar redheads in there last time.
Oi, either of us is a vulgar, it's not a me.
Cinco again, the pepino. Why didn't you bring this up before? Hugh Boone is from the home story, The Man with the Twisted Lip. Oh, really? That's cool. Look, I told you already. I don't like talking about my personal life. I'm a tit-bit peddler as far as everyone else is concerned. No fuss. You will update your testimony to include this most surprising revelation, Mr. Boone. Okay, if I must. So the leaseholder Scotland Yard has been looking for since the body was discovered has been here under our noses all along. And under our lips. Well, I rent the room where the fellow was found, it's true. For what difference it makes. I'm all alone in the world, me. I've no kinfolk or nothing. Won't be involved in something like that. Okay, so. Okay. Yeah. I can see where this is going now. Yeah, they do have the same hair, don't they? And it makes sense, him being a peddler since he got laid off. Which means he's lying about having no kinfolk, because there was a picture of Mrs. Vigil found at the scene of the crime.
Objection!
If you have no kinfolk, as you put it, then explain why it is it that among the sparse furnishings we found this photograph in the room. I presume, as you've been renting the room, that this photograph belongs to you, does it not? Oh. Mr. Boone, drop the pretense and tell the court exactly who you really are. Oh no, what you mean? I'm a peddler, I keep telling you so. You really don't need to bother with me. Please, just leave it alone. As the man says, leave it alone. Whatever the truth is about this man's life, it has no bearing on this case. Au contraire. I think it does. Because it's simply not possible that he impersonated Inspector Gregson.
Objection!
How can you be so sure? Just look at the man. No amount of disguise could ever hide those unmissable features.
Objection!
But what if we were to look at this the other way around? What do you mean? Yes, counsel, what do you mean? Well, there's no denying that Mr. Boone's lip is very prominent indeed. But consider the possibility that his prominent lip is itself part of an elaborate disguise. Then hiding that prominent feature, in other words, revealing his true face, would make an utterly impenetrable disguise. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Hugh Boone? Witness! Are you still hiding the truth from this court? Is his name still... Oh, it's still Gossip. I was wondering if they changed it. Are you still hiding the truth from this court?
If that's a disguise, then underneath it, his true identity must be...
Yes, that's right. There's really only one person he could really be. My lord, the defense believes it can reveal Mr. Boone's true identity to the court. I was wondering when all the vigil stuff was going to come into play. No, please, no. Very well then, counsel. What is the true identity of this peddler who simply goes by the name of Gossip on the street? His identity is... Gossip. Is Kazuma Asagi.
Take that!
Your real name is actually Mr. Vigil, isn't it? Mr. Daily Vigil. I don't recall that name, Counsel. Who is this Mr. Vigil? It's a name I encountered yesterday, my lord. It has to do with a certain client of Mr. Hairlock Sholmes. A young gentlewoman came into the detective, asking him to locate her missing husband. The woman in this photograph, in fact. This is Mrs. Vigil. What? From what I understand, you haven't returned home since the night before the inspector was found dead. But of course, on that night, you were being held captive by the two red-headed League men. And last night, you were put up by the prosecution service in preparation for testifying in this trial. Because we've been led to believe that you, Miss Venus, and Mr. Sandwich were all homeless. Being important witnesses in this case, we needed to know where we could find you, of course. And that explains why you've not only been unable to return home, but also unable to contact your wife, who's been beside herself with worry, waiting for you at the Vigil residence. Oh, just to hold on a minute. Oh, the first idea. What I'm talking about? Really? It's a simple enough matter to confirm my suspicions. All we have to do is pull off that disguise. No, please. Bailiff, bring soap, a sponge, and a wash bowl at once. Mr. De Rosa and Mr. De Rossi, you will restrain the witness. Why did they do it? Why are you... What? Why are you making them do it? Oui, my lord. Si, my lord. Oh. No. Stop. No, please. Don't. Well, we are now seeing your true features, I presume. Oh, you had an outfit change too. Very cool. Lift your head, sir, so the court can see your face. It would appear that the defense counsel's assertion was entirely correct. This has all been a very elaborate deception. So, witnesses, tell the court. Have you seen this man before? I don't believe it, but...
See, there is no question. This is the inspector we saw in the park.
Extraordinary. On the day of the Red-Headed League enrollment, the man claiming to be Inspector Gregson, who appeared before Mr. De Rosa and Mr. De Rossi in the park, was you, disguised as the inspector. Or rather, was you posing as the inspector in no disguise at all. Mr. Vigil was formerly employed as the chief warder at Barclay Prison. The chief warder? Then your career had promise. Why, you would quite possibly have become the future governor of the prison. What on earth have you been doing peddling tittle-tattle on Fresno Street? Well, it's been 10 years since Mr. Vigil worked at the prison. 10 years. Professor Case. I'm really dreadfully sorry about all this. Yes, it's true. I am Daily Vigil. And you were the chief warder at Barclay Prison 10 years ago. So where did Mr. Hugh Boone come from? Boone is the other me. It's a name I invented. Well, evidently there was a great deal under the surface here. I'll explain everything. I'll tell you just how wretched my life has become. As you say, it was 10 years ago now that my employment as Barclay's chief warder came to an end. having left the prison service, I searched for some new occupation by which to earn a wage. But times were hard in London, and I found no suitable engagements at all. In desperation one day, I turned my hand at selling wares on Fresno Street. But your wife appears to know nothing of this. She still maintains that you are the chief warder at Barclay Prison. I was utterly determined that my wife should not know of my failings, which is why I've never told her. I opened an account at the bank under the name of Hugh Boone, and I rented the cheapest room I could find on Fresno Street. The scene of the very crime we're investigating. Yes, that's right. A place from which I could emerge every morning at 8 as a squalid peddler, and transform myself back every evening at 5 into a well-dressed man about town before returning home. That quickly became my daily routine. I was puzzled by the lack of furniture in the room, but that explains it. Which also explains, Cosmo, that your motive's out the window and gone. But why on earth didn't you just tell us about this in the first place? I have a wife, sir, and 2 sons, and without wishing to sound self-conceited, they regard me with some pride. I couldn't bring myself to disappoint them. So instead, you decided to conceal your occupation from them. Yes. I've made such a terrible mess of everything. Still, one thing doesn't add up. No matter how many tidbits of information you could sell to passing gentlemen, even at 6p apiece, you couldn't hope to match the salary you must have commanded as chief warder at the prison. Plus, on top of that, you're renting another room as well. Very true. To have kept your family in comfort, despite 10 years of somewhat misbegotten employment. That was all thanks to Inspector Gregson. What? Inspector Gregson? What on earth? It was some years after I invented Boone and begun my other life as a street seller. The inspector that is, recognized me one day. Do you mean to say the victim was an acquaintance of yours? I knew him from my time working at the prison. When he saw what I'd become, he was deeply troubled for me and my family. And from that day forward, he visited me on Fresno Street with increasing regularity. Then one day, he asked me if I would carry out a secret assignment for him. Oh, so Gregson put him to it. A secret? What was it? I was to impersonate the inspector. What? Impersonate him? We always met in that little room so the inspector could brief me. Visit Orkseys tomorrow and take a statement from the proprietress. It was always something along those lines. Surveillance work, interviewing people. On those occasions, he would lend me his identification so people would believe who I was. My instructions were to make an impression, to let people know that Inspector Gregson had been at work. And for those services, he compensated me financially. A Scotland Yard inspector willingly relinquished his identification into your care with intent to deceive. That, as I'm sure I need not point out, is a very serious criminal offense. But why? What was the point of you impersonating him? I truthfully do not know. All I can say is that the inspector warned me on numerous occasions. Now remember, Vigil, I need your solemn word. You don't blab about this to anyone, alright? Ever. Even if, well, if I end up a croaker. Oh, Gregson. Oh. Ooh, cool shot. In time, he started to bring papers with him to the room as well. It became something of a second office for him. why was he looking into the Reaper so much? So, in fact, the person who declared himself to be Inspector Craigston at the park on Lime Street was really... Yes, it was me, acting on the inspector's orders. As usual, I removed my boon disguise, and then went as instructed to the park, armed with the inspector's identification book. It never occurred to me that the bruise on my neck might give me away. Good grief. Well, it would seem this confession completely destroys the defense's case. Brother, it also destroys your case? My man, Kazuma? Remember what your motive's built on? And how this your wishy-washy motive, by the way, that I've been saying is a terrible, terrible motive from the very beginning, is now completely gone. Because you said this was the Reaper's secret hideout. It was not. No, don't give in, Randowska. His case is gone too. Explain yourself, Prosecutor Asugi. My learned friend's assertion was as follows. The victim was killed at another location on the day before his corpse was discovered, at the hands of these two red-headed League men when they imprisoned the inspector. Did I say that? I don't remember saying that they did it. But no, that can't be. After all, it wasn't the inspector who went to the park that day, it was me. Oh, goodness. Finally, we have clarity. We had nothing to do with the murder of the inspector. And merci, Monsieur de la Défense, for proving it. But...
This doesn't prove anything.
Order, order, order. Indeed, it appeared that we have reached a de facto conclusion of sorts. These witnesses had no involvement in the murder of the victim, as proven somewhat ironically by the defense. I hereby call an end to the cross-examination.
Hold it!
Kazuma? Pardon me, my lord, but with your permission, I would like to pose one further question to the witness. Kazuma? What question, counsel? It concerns the events of 10 years ago. I believe you would have been present at a very significant execution that was carried out at the time. 10 years ago. The execution of the professor, Genshin Asagi. I want to know exactly what your involvement was. Oh, yeah. Oh! Answer me, man. One moment, counsel. This seems kind of irrelevant. Is this related to the current case? No, this is related to his whole being here.
It's my dad, Mr. Judge.
Naturally. It is the prosecution's belief that this case and the events of 10 years ago are inextricably linked. Does the defense concur, counsel? Kazuma, you're not yourself. You're not as calm and collected as usual.
Poor Kazuma-sama. No wonder he's acting this way. Mr. Vigil's memories of what happened 10 years ago would tell the tale of Genshin Asugi's last moments. His own father.
I know. I do understand that. But even so... Prosecutor Asugi. Do you genuinely believe that this question requires an answer in order to learn the truth behind Inspector Gregson's death. I need you to trust me. Please. Very well. Then the defense has no objection. I see. In that case, you will answer the question, witness. The truth is, I remember very little of that time. You've forgotten! Oh, Kazuma. I'm sorry to say, yes. As I said, I resigned from my role at the prison 10 years ago. But for some peculiar reason, my memory of the events leading up to that moment is extremely hazy. Kazuma's gonna lose it.
Does that not strike you as strange, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, 10 years is a long time, but to have forgotten the reason why he left such an important job.
We have the reason he left. Don't we? Yes, you're right. The Chief Warder Daily Vigil is relieved of his post with immediate effect for having violated Clause 132 of Her Majesty's Code of Conduct for prisons. All rights to redundancy pay and other financial benefits are fully revoked. Reason for dismissal: aiding and abetting the escape from this prison of convict. Yeah, just prior to his execution. Details of the escape are still being investigated. Full cooperation with inquiries will be expected. Prison Governor Barry Kaiden. Additional notes. Indications that the jailbreak plot was conceived prior to the convict's incarceration. It's believed that the convict engaged in some form of negotiation with prison staff in order to secure assistance. Full disclosure of information regarding these negotiations will be demanded. Yeah, we got it written out why he was dismissed. Not only that, Mr. Vigil's claim contradicts what we already know. Yeah, he claimed that he resigned, but we know he was dismissed. The human spirit is a fragile thing. It's broken all too easily. Which is why we have a tendency to wrap it up for protection. Sorry, the human spirit? I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean. When we experience pain and suffering that we feel unable to bear, we block it out, obliterate it from our memories, seal it away. But it never truly leaves us. If the seal is broken, the memories resurface, and when they do, that fragile spirit may finally be crushed. But I really don't... Kazuma-sama... But if it must be crushed, then so be it. Because the truth will not stay buried. It's coming out one way or another. Like you... Right. Now I understand. It's clear what his intentions are. He needs to expose the truth at any cost. Oh, Susato. Perhaps if I pointed out the contradiction in what Mr. Vigil claimed earlier, it might cause some crucial memories to return to him. But should I? Should I present evidence or not? Yeah, do it! For Kazuma! For Kazuma! I have no idea how this is gonna go, but this is a court of law, and I have a duty to pursue the truth. Van Zeeks is just sitting there like, what does all this have to do with me and, and Gregson's murder? Mr. Vigil, I'd like you to look at this. It feels like the prosecution's using this to like go through his own personal trauma evidence that clearly contradicts your version of events.
Take that!
Just a few moments ago, you made the following statement. He said he was this. I resigned from my role at the prison 10 years ago. Yeah. Well, yes. In other words, you claim to have left the post of Chief Warder of your own volition. Well, yes, of course. Why? Tell me. Do you remember seeing this document before? No. No, I don't. This is a dismissal notice ordering the immediate termination of a prison staff member's employment. A dismissal notice? And the name on the notice is yours, Mr. Vigil.
What? It's mine?
He started dissociating the moment Kazuma said the professor. Oh. So you didn't resign from the prison service at all. For some reason, you were dismissed as chief warder from Barclay.
No, there's been some mistake. I'm sure. I'm sure I tendered my resignation. This dismissal notice is nonsense. Isn't it?
If you were forcibly dismissed, there must have been good reason. Clearly, you did something. Yeah, we have it written down in the... Mr. Vigil, it's time to break the seal and have you remember. Ooh, this music's so spooky. According to the few remaining records, the final execution that you supervised was on 17th of June, 10 years ago. And on that day, something very serious took place at Barclay Prison. 17th of June? Was that the professor's execution? Professor. As you were the chief warder at the time, it stands to reason that you would have been present throughout the proceedings. It does sound familiar. Dude, what happened? And yet that execution never took place. The convict, ostensibly executed earlier that day, later re-emerged from his grave. The convict came back to life? In the cemetery in the middle of the night, there was a witness.
However, the witness claims that a moment after he saw the convict clambering out of his grave...
Yeah, gunshot.
A gunshot rang out from over his shoulder, and the bullet pierced the professor's chest, killing him instantly. Those may have been the professor's actual last moments.
Yes. Yes. Seeing as you were in charge of overseeing executions at the time, you must know the truth about what really happened. It's in your head, somewhere deep down. Well, Chief Warder Daily Vigil, I know there are memories in your head that can explain what happened on 17th June 10 years ago. And now it's time for you to drag them up. Mr. Vigil? Yes, whole prison. It was complete chaos. The prisoner escaped. He was killed in the cemetery. The shocking news ripped through Barclay like a hurricane. What? Order! Do you mean to say, Mr. Vigil, that your memories of the time have returned? Yeah. My head, it's like some floodgates have been opened. The images, the screams.
Oh, my goodness.
The papers. There were reports, articles about a man who'd seen a ghost. Yes, Enoch Drebber. But surely those reports were exaggerated. There were traces at the scene.
Traces of what?
In Locate Cemetery at plot number 139, Blood. Lots of blood. That's where the man was buried, of course. Obviously, something terrible had happened there. The depths of conspiracy and depravity from which this tale is emerging are quite staggering. I've reviewed the police report records from that time extensively. A thorough investigation was conducted by Scotland Yard to ascertain how the convict managed to escape in the first place. And the conclusion reached by the investigating team was that a member of the prison staff must have been involved. Are you suggesting that a prison warder abetted the man's bid for freedom? Yes, and I was suspected of doing it, of using that mass murderer's execution as a way to help him escape.
You did what?
I remember now, the horror of it all is coming back to me. One evening, a few days after the execution, some detectives came to the prison. I was called to the governor's office at the top of the watchtower. He's making me dizzy. I'm sorry, Daly. It's a serious business, but how can I help you now? What's Chief Warder? You were responsible for overseeing the execution of four, eh? Well, seems the fellas at Scotland Yard want to have a few wee words with you about it. You'd better pack your things, laddie. You're to attend in person. As soon as he told me that, my mind just went completely blank. And the next thing I knew, the professor, the most hated killer in our country's history. And I let him escape. I'm finished. My life is over.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Order, bailiff, fetch a doctor at once. 5 black psyche locks broken. Early breakdown. Oh. Oh my god. Court is adjourned for today with immediate effect. Yeah, probably for the best. Oh my god.
So, with Mr. Vigil's collapse, proceedings came to an abrupt end for the day. Once again overshadowed by the legacy of that notorious killer, appearing like a cursed ghost ship on a foggy ocean. Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Vigil, Kazuma, and Gregson.
Oh.
All of them bound by invisible chains anchored to the same wreckage in the murky depths of the past. But the miraculous light that had been trying to cut through the gloom and shine on those tragic events was playing on the edges of the truth at last.
To be continued. Wow, what a way to end a trial. That was good. Oh boy. Well, with that, my friends, thank you so very much for tuning in to my early birthday stream today. Yay! I'll be back again probably Monday, maybe Sunday if I feel like it. Probably not though. I'm probably gonna be doing stuff all weekend. But thank you guys for being here. Let me find someone to raid. Who's live? Thank you. Oh, and thank you again, Scenario, for the 10 gifted earlier. So appreciative. Sure, you. Never mind, not you. Bum, 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 bum. We'll do you. Thank you. There we go. Thank you guys for being here. I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Sending you off in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye bye.